The CEO forgot I was his canary. After Alex Chen lost his memory, he completely forgot that I was his little canary. He even offered me compensation and told me to leave. With a bulging belly, I was overjoyed as if I'd won the lottery and quickly made my escape. Money, a genetically superior baby, and no one to serve, what more could I ask for in life? Unfortunately, my joy was short-lived. Every time I went for a prenatal checkup at the hospital, I kept running into Alex Chen. Time and again, the more we met, the more unreadable his gaze became. I started to panic that he might remember the past and even considered fleeing abroad to be safe. But then I looked up and saw him take a deep breath, then quickly advance towards me. After countless brief encounters, this was the first time he spoke to me. A man who doesn't accompany his wife to prenatal checkups isn't worth keeping, but children need a father present. What I mean is, I fell in love with you at first sight. May I humbly ask if I could be the father of the child in your womb? I had once been Alex Chen's cherished lover, beautiful, obedient, and utterly compliant. Our private life was incredibly harmonious. That's why a man notoriously cold towards women like him did something that astonished everyone. He kept me by his side for 3 long years. While people were still speculating whether he loved me, he got into a car accident. The strange thing was, he only forgot me. Damn Alex Chen, is he faking amnesia just to avoid breaking up with me? I choked with anger at the thought. On the other end of the line, Assistant Lee was relaying Alex Chen's wishes after his memory loss. He spoke tactfully. Ms. Claire, after losing his memory, CEO Chen finds the idea of keeping a mistress unacceptable. He doesn't believe he ever had feelings for you and doesn't wish to see you again. Therefore, I apologize, but in the next few days, you will have to vacate the villa in Thuan Can Lone. Thuan Can Lone was where Alex Chen had arranged for me to live, and also where we had spent 3 years together. Living there for 3 years, I had, to some extent, come to see it as home. The villa was decorated with many pink lace items I loved, and even had a sunflower garden, my favorite flower, planted everywhere. Hearing I had to move, I felt a pang of disappointment. Still, the house and money belonged to him. I nodded weakly, preparing to leave empty-handed. Suddenly, Assistant Lee changed his tone. CEO Chen is not a heartless man. He knows you've been with him for 3 years, and though it wasn't a formal relationship, he appreciates your companionship. So, he has decided to give you a severance package along with a house in the 4th ring area. The condition is that you must not bother him again. As soon as he finished speaking, I received a notification of a huge 7-figure sum deposited into my bank account. My sadness vanished instantly. It felt like fireworks exploded brightly in my heart. Unable to hide my radiant smile, I quickly reassured Assistant Lee. Don't worry, I'll move out in a few days. No, today, I promise never to appear before CEO Chen again. This is truly a huge win. I have money, I'm carrying a genetically superior baby, and I'm free from having to serve that bottomless pit every night. Heh heh, what a bargain. That's right, I was pregnant. I loved children, so when I first found out I was pregnant, I subtly hinted to Alex Chen a few times, both discreetly and directly. Do you like kids? Alex Chen didn't hesitate, replying bluntly, No, they're noisy and troublesome. He glanced at me, frowning. Do you want children? His expression was so serious, as if one nod from me would send me packing instantly. How dare I say I'm pregnant? I quickly shook my head, vehemently denying it. No, I hate children. Besides, our relationship isn't the kind where we could have children. There's no official status. I thought my answer was perfectly reasonable and pleased Alex Chen, clearly showing I had no such intentions. But for some reason, this crazy guy immediately flared up as if he'd been poisoned. What kind of relationship do we have? Don't you want to have children with me? Given his zero ability to read emotions, all I could do was secretly make a 6 sign with my fingers behind my back to vent my frustration. Yes, this hateful man would drag me to bed whenever he was displeased. Fortunately, the baby in my belly was very healthy. Its father worked hard late into the night, like a pile-driving machine, but the baby remained safe and resilient. This only strengthened my resolve to keep the child. So, when Alex Chen lost his memory and sent me away, of course, I happily took the money and bolted. That very day, I asked Assistant Lei to handle the paperwork for the house transfer. By evening, I had moved in. My serene pregnancy life began in overflowing happiness. During the day, I strolled the streets, cooked, and took on painting jobs. In the evenings, I read, listened to music, and freely liked handsome men on screen. Before, when I was Alex Chen's Canary, I never had such a comfortable life. Who would have thought that crazy man once declared, "Every time you like a handsome guy's video, you'll pay for it." Though he was handsome and incredibly skilled, I admit it was fun. But too many times my back couldn't take it. That's why I always had to sneakily admire handsome men. Liking their posts was an unthinkable dream. Now it's different. I've become smarter. In one day, I can swoon over 108 men. A flurry of dazzling red hearts flies by. And for me, the man in the next video is always the most handsome. With ample material comforts, peace of mind, and boundless happiness, time flew by. Soon enough, it was time for my routine prenatal checkup. The thought of seeing my tiny embryo child filled me with so much joy that happy bubbles burst within me. Overcome with delight, I inadvertently ignored a fleeting sense of unease. I never imagined I would encounter Alex Chen at the hospital in the Fourth Ring area. Right there in the bustling hospital lobby, amidst the flow of people, I recognized him at first sight. His head was wrapped in white bandages, and he wore a blue and white striped patient gown. Probably due to injury, his previously sleek black hair had been shaved off. But that didn't detract from his appearance at all. On the contrary, it sharpened his facial features, making him stand out in the crowd. When his gaze swept over, I panicked and lowered my head. I distinctly felt his burning stare fixed on the top of my head. I silently cursed the heavens. Is he the powerful crown prince of Beijing's elite? Why isn't he in a high-end private hospital, but in this common public one? And why do I have to come to this ordinary public hospital all the way out in the Fourth Ring district? While I was grumbling and contemplating, the scorching gaze that had been on me vanished. I cautiously looked up, and Alex Chen's figure had already merged into the sea of people. I gently patted my chest and let out a long breath. It's fine, everything will be fine. He's lost his memory, he's forgotten me. So even if we meet accidentally, it doesn't matter. In his eyes now, I'm just a complete stranger. Mumbling to myself, I walked towards the obstetrics department. In 2025, the number of pregnant women going for prenatal checkups seemed not very high. Getting a queue number and waiting for my turn happened very quickly and conveniently. The examination process also went smoothly. Holding my baby's ultrasound photo and hearing the doctor say the baby was perfectly healthy, I was both anxious and incredibly joyful. My child's existence, for someone who had lost all loved ones, once again allowed me to feel a blood connection. This child was the miracle I had created in this world, even though it wasn't born yet. I truly couldn't help but love and keep this child. I gazed at the ultrasound photo, wondering how to carefully store it. After all, this was my child's first picture. First, I needed to laminate it, then find a beautiful frame. After that, someone walking in the opposite direction was in too much of a hurry. Before I could react, I was bumped. As I swayed, about to fall, a strong arm suddenly wrapped around my waist, steadying me, then quickly released me once I was firm on my feet. As soon as I was stable, I looked down to see my baby's ultrasound photo on the ground. Panicked, I touched my belly. The person who bumped into me just turned back, offered a perfunctory apology, and hurried away. Angry but daring not to speak, I muttered curses internally and bent down to pick up the ultrasound. After blowing off the dust, I looked up to see who had helped me. At that moment, he also looked down at the ultrasound in my hand. The moment my eyes met that familiar face, I froze. Thick eyebrows, cold eyes, a straight nose bridge. Was the person who just saved my child Alex Chen? I gasped, my thank you choked in my throat, unable to be uttered. Alex Chen looked at me for a few seconds, then glanced down at the ultrasound. His face, usually as cold as ancient ice, now became as frigid as the peak of Mount Everest. My heart pounded erratically. A sense of unease overwhelmed me. I trembled, fearing he would recover his memories and force me to abort. Or worse, he would keep the child but abandon me, forever depriving me of my right to be a mother. These thoughts gave me goosebumps, and I stammered, "The baby isn't yours." The words had barely left my lips when I regretted them immensely. Alex Chen had amnesia, hadn't he? Why did I suddenly blurt out such a thing? It was like exposing myself. I forced a strained smile and quickly tried to cover it up. "Haha, I was just kidding. Handsome sir, thank you very much. My husband just left. Luckily, you caught me. Otherwise, I don't know how I would explain it to him. This baby is the great hope of the Mr. Wright family." The more I spoke, the smoother I became. Conversely, Alex Chen's face grew increasingly somber. Finally, he couldn't stand my incessant rambling about the Mr. Wright family's incense any longer. He silently turned and walked away coldly. Oh my, how terrifying. Next time, I must definitely switch to a different hospital for my checkup. I rubbed my chest to reassure myself, watching his retreating back and thinking. In the following days, I lived in worry and unease. Besides a call from Assistant Lee asking if I needed the giant pink teddy bear in my bedroom, I received no further news from Alex Chen. I breathed a sigh of relief. After that, I gradually returned to my leisurely pregnancy life. Then came the next checkup day. This time, I decided to choose a top hospital in Beijing. On the way, I couldn't stop wondering if Alex Chen had moved from that ordinary hospital to this one, and the truth proved he certainly could have. In the hospital lobby, seeing Alex Chen standing not far away, I was utterly stunned. Alex Chen had terrifyingly sharp senses. In an instant, his gaze fixed directly on me, his eyebrows slightly furrowed. He must have been wondering why I suddenly appeared at this hospital, as people don't usually change prenatal checkup hospitals so easily. What a damn coincidence. If I had known Alex Chen was coming here too, I wouldn't have dared to show my face. He looked at me for quite a while. Unable to ignore him any longer, I greeted him casually. "Handsome sir, what a coincidence. Are you here for a checkup too, or perhaps just to change bandages?" Alex Chen, after his memory loss, truly had no manners left. He gave me a cold side-eye, then turned and walked away like a complete stranger. Before, when I was his lover, every time we accidentally met on the street, he would surely approach, pat my head, and kiss my cheek before leaving. But now, how infuriating. I pouted, teasing his retreating back, then quickly rushed to the obstetrics department. This checkup went smoothly. I held my child's second ultrasound photo. What mother doesn't find her child beautiful? To get a closer look at my baby's delicate face, I found a bench in the hospital courtyard and sat down. The baby was still very small, but the more I looked, the more I loved it. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Suddenly, someone fell with a thud right in front of me, as if deliberately faking a fall for attention. Startled, I immediately stood up. "Sir, are you okay?" I bent down, trying to turn him over, fearing that lying on his back for too long would make it hard to breathe. Unexpectedly, before I could prepare myself, Alex Chen's handsome face appeared right before my eyes. I was speechless. How is it that I run into him everywhere? But seeing the bruise on his forehead, I couldn't bring myself to ignore him. I took a deep breath, shouted for help, and called a nurse and those around to take him to the emergency room. Then, taking advantage of everyone's distraction, I secretly slipped away. I've decided. Next time, I must definitely switch to a different hospital. That way, I surely won't see him again, right? If I do, no, I can't be that unlucky. I thought as I walked towards the parking lot. But before I could exit the clinic gate, I encountered someone I definitely didn't want to see. Right in the hospital lobby, Assistant Lee and I met face to face. Remembering my promise, I quickly raised 2 fingers to vow. "I swear I have no intentions toward your CEO. I came to the hospital for a cold, not to stalk Alex Chen." Assistant Lee was silent for a few seconds, then slowly said, "The CEO's visit to the hospital today was a surprise appointment. I know you're not that kind of person." Then he hesitated, his expression somewhat complex. "But, thank you for saving the CEO earlier." I let out a soft sigh of relief, waving my hand. "It's nothing. This is a hospital. If not me, someone else would have helped. I'm really not good at social interactions." After saying that, I quickly said goodbye and started to leave. Suddenly, Assistant Lee called out, his voice a little hesitant. "Miss Claire, perhaps you should meet the CEO once. Maybe he doesn't believe in your past relationship because he hasn't seen you again. Who knows, after meeting you, he might remember everything." "Oh, I probably don't need to. We've met a few times already. It had no effect at all. Alex Chen has truly forgotten me completely. Furthermore, I'm pregnant now. How dare I appear before him? What if he remembers and wants to get rid of the baby? Then, even if I cried and complained enough to collapse the Great Wall, it would be useless." I immediately waved my hand, refusing. "No, I won't meet him." I pondered for a moment, then sincerely advised Assistant Lee, Alex Chen said he doesn't want to see me anymore. How can you go against his wishes just because of our slight acquaintance? So, please, never mention me in front of Alex Chen again. After that day's checkup, as soon as I got home, I contacted a real estate agent to sell the apartment. Better safe than sorry. It's one thing for Alex Chen, who has amnesia, to see me at my prenatal checkup. But if Assistant Lee, who knows everything, discovers I'm pregnant, that would be a major problem. Before his amnesia, Alex Chen didn't like children at all. Now that he's forgotten everything, he surely dislikes them even more. If he knew I was pregnant, there's a 99.9% chance that my child and I would be in danger. Beijing is where I grew up. I really can't bear to leave. So, I can only move to an area a bit further from Alex Chen and change hospitals for prenatal checkups at the same time. This time, I absolutely cannot run into Alex Chen again. Asterisk Chapter 9, the third prenatal checkup. Damn it, I ran into Alex Chen again. Right there in the waiting lounge, he wore a meticulously tailored suit, looking dashing as if about to embark on a billion-dollar project. He stood blocking the hallway entrance. His head, once shaved bald from injury, now had hair grown out to his ears. His appearance had almost returned to how it was before the accident, only his aura was much colder than before, frigid like eternal ice. His eyes were as deep as an abyss, fixed intently on me. I stood just a few steps from him, but it felt as if my feet were nailed to the ground, unable to move. While silently cursing my bad luck, I thought, maybe I should just flee the country for good. Even if he remembers later, it would be hard for him to find me. The more I thought about it, the more feasible it seemed. Though being far from home would make me lonely, it would be worth it for my child. At most, I'd wait until the child was a little older before returning home. Everything clear in my mind, I let out a soft breath. Looking back at Alex Chen, I no longer felt any fear. I even lifted my head and smiled at him. But then I saw him take a deep breath, then quickly step towards me. After meeting so many times, this was the first time he initiated conversation. A man who doesn't accompany his wife to prenatal checkups isn't worth keeping, but children need a father by their side. Honestly, I fell in love with you at first sight. May I boldly ask, can I be the father of the child in your womb? I blinked blankly, wondering if I had misheard him. Alex Chen lowered his head, his usually cold face showing a hint of hesitation. Ms. Clareman, I don't care if the baby in your womb is mine or not. I will treat it well. I remained silent, utterly astonished. My emotions were a tangled mess, because Alex Chen was suddenly showing affection. Hadn't he said before that he didn't like children? It turns out he didn't like his own children, but was particularly fond of being a stepfather. Truly speechless. I immediately gave him a long, obvious side-eye, then sneered. My child is already waiting to be born. You don't need to trouble yourself. Alex Chen's face darkened for a moment, but then immediately became unusually resolute. He declared firmly, "A man who doesn't even bother to take you to your prenatal checkups, how can he be a good father? So what about you? Can you do it?" "I can do it. I don't believe you. Transfer 500,000 yuan to me to see if you really have the capability." Alex Chen's head bowed slightly. He transferred the money. Then he looked up at me with affectionate, loving eyes and said, "I have a lot of money, very suitable to be your husband and the father of your child." I silently watched the bank notification, confirming the receipt of 1 million yuan. I was utterly speechless. Suddenly, Assistant Lee was standing beside us, mouth agape, stammering an awkward, His eyes darted between me and Alex Chen as if to ask, "Excuse me, what kind of play are you two putting on?" "I'm not kidding. Your boss is trading his morals, insisting on being my third party. 3 prenatal checkups, 3 different hospitals, and each time I ran into Alex Chen. This coincidence, I had to give in. I agreed to go home with Alex Chen, giving him a chance to be my third party." Assistant Lee, driving the car, asked while gripping the steering wheel, "Back to Thuen Can Loan, sir?" Without hesitation, I replied, "Yes." Alex Chen immediately protested vehemently, "No way." I shot him an indifferent glare. "Why not? Are you hiding someone there?" Alex Chen froze for a moment, then fell silent. After a long pause, he stammered, "Probably. No one else anymore." "Oh, probably no one? Listen to him who talks like that. Alex Chen's voice grew softer and softer. I had an accident recently and lost some memory. Assistant Lee said I used to have a girlfriend, but I don't remember anything at all. I swear I had no feelings for her, and besides, I've already broken up with her. The person I love now is you. From the first time I met you, I felt we should be together. So he had no feelings for me anymore. I maintained a poker face as I listened to his vows. Next to us, the intelligent and quick-witted assistant Lee's mouth hung open. He subtly glanced at me, then frantically signaled Alex Chen. "Sir, you will surely remember her." Alex Chen's mind seemed to have frozen. He completely misunderstood the signal. He loudly declared, "I can't remember," then turned to look at me, infatuated. "You are the one I like. I don't care that you're married, and I don't care that you're pregnant with another man's child. I want to marry you." "Oh, right. When will you finalize the divorce proceedings with your husband?" The car, driven by Assistant Lee, immediately swerved, drawing a strange S-shaped curve. I stared sharply at Alex Chen, gritting my teeth. "We'll see how you perform first." He not only forgot me but also wanted to interfere in my marriage. "Alex Chen, you are truly something else." As soon as we arrived at the villa, I secretly sent a message to Assistant Lee, asking him to pretend not to know me. Moreover, he was absolutely not to reveal that I used to be Alex Chen's Canary. Assistant Lee looked at Alex Chen with an empathetic expression, nodded repeatedly, then quickly departed, his back drenched in sweat. Meanwhile, I confidently walked into the villa. Aunt Zhang, engrossed in tending to the flowers in the garden, saw me and hurriedly ran over, beaming. She discreetly glanced at Alex Chen's expression, then softly asked, "Ms. Claire, have you and the CEO made up?" I nodded, gently replying, "Yes, but because of his accident, his memory is a bit confused. Now he thinks I'm someone else's wife, so if he acts strangely, please don't mind it. We're just playing a game." Aunt Zhang suddenly understood, nodding knowingly. "Oh, is it that game you young people play? Something like role play, isn't it?" I smiled and nodded in agreement. Aunt Zhang is so smart. I turned to look at Alex Chen, who was completely oblivious. The corner of my lips curved into a calculating smile. I went straight upstairs to the bedroom on the second floor and changed into a nightgown. As soon as I stepped out of the room, Alex Chen was standing right outside the door. He looked up at me, his eyes suddenly lighting up. "This dress is beautiful. Did I order it for you, and it arrived so quickly?" I lifted the hem of the dress, twirled around, smiling brightly. "This is your old Canary's dress. Of course, it's beautiful." Alex Chen's usually cold face instantly stiffened. "Huh." I gave him a side-eye, my tone icy. "Are you upset I'm using it?" Alex Chen frantically waved his hands. "No, no." I chuckled softly, leaned down, and kissed his lips, looking directly into his eyes, giving him a radiant smile. "No is good. Didn't you want to be my husband? Why are you so hesitant now?" Alex Chen's ears flushed red, avoiding my gaze, his eyelashes trembling slightly. But you have to finalize your divorce first." My slender finger touched his throat, gently tapping it. "Surely you know pregnant women often have higher needs than usual. If you can't satisfy me, I'll just have to go back to my Mr. Right." Before I could finish, Alex Chen, with deep-set eyes, picked me up, quickly carried me into the bedroom, and placed me on the soft silk sheets. He leaned down and kissed me, his eyes filled with suppressed desire and infatuation, his face showing clear struggle and guilt. Yet, from beginning to end, he had no intention of stopping. At first, I only wanted to tease him a little, but since getting pregnant, my hormones truly made me easily aroused. Kissed into a daze, I forgot to resist. He was careful with my belly, not daring to be too rough but very slow and prolonged, leaving me hanging, unable to escape. My face flushed, I pleaded with him to go a little faster. He kissed my fingertips, his voice softly coaxing. "Who are you begging now?" Unable to bear the torment, I angrily swung my hand and slapped him. He immediately sped up, his eyes bloodshot. "Why won't you say, husband?" Alex Chen's movements paused, he bit my finger. "Don't think about him now, you two are about to divorce." Alex Chen, once he lost control, became as passionate as, well, like Eli wearing Pinu's dress. I closed my eyes, almost fainting from both pleasure and amusement. The next day, I woke up a bit late. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Alex Chen secretly directing people to move all the clothes and accessories from my dressing room. I frowned, glaring at him. "What are you doing touching those things?" Alex Chen's face was as cold as ice, a righteous expression on his face. "I'm clearing space to arrange the things you like, clothes, handbags, and those lace decorations in the room. I'll have someone remove them all later. You can choose whatever you like again. If you don't like that sunflower garden, I can hire someone to uproot it all so you can plant the flowers you love." My anger nearly erupted. It was so immense I felt like I could fly into the sky and explode like fireworks. All those things were what I cherished. I had put so much effort into arranging and decorating them. Yet now, he'd forgotten everything, and for a woman he'd only met a few times, wanted to destroy it all. Too angry, I sneered. "No, you can't. Aren't these all things you like?" Alex Chen replied without thinking, "Not at all." "I don't." My eyes immediately sharpened. "Oh, so the one who liked them was your previous mistress then?" Though his face remained cold, Alex Chen wasn't so dense as to miss the implication. He frantically waved his hands repeatedly. "No, no, no, I liked them." I had been waiting for that exact phrase. Immediately, I pulled out a black lace-trimmed suit from the wardrobe and threw it at him. "Darling, I knew you liked it. Put it on. Get ready for work." "No, not good. For work you need to dress formally." "What's wrong with a black lace-trimmed suit for formality?" Alex Chen, cold as ice, slowly took the suit. When I redecorated the villa, Alex Chen was far from happy. I had to struggle all night, almost breaking, just to keep those lace details. Now with amnesia, he thought he'd gotten a new partner and immediately wanted to tear everything down. "Don't even think about it. Even if you've changed, you still have to wear this lace suit for me." At the breakfast table, I calmly enjoyed the nourishing porridge prepared by Aunt Zhang. Alex Chen, sitting opposite, kept pulling at his lace-trimmed sleeve as if unfamiliar with it. He frowned, asking softly, "Do I really have to wear it?" I swallowed a spoonful of porridge, replying gently, "You don't have to, but earlier I intended to meet Mr. Wright today to discuss the divorce, but now my mood isn't good, so I guess I won't." "No, no, no, I'll wear it right away. I'll even come with you to discuss the divorce." For the goal of publicizing our relationship, Alex Chen immediately released his sleeve, no longer touching the lace. I glanced at him, annoyed and scolded. "Go where? Being a third party and acting so arrogant, do you have no shame?" Alex Chen immediately transformed from a mighty snow lion into a quivering quail, his imposing aura plummeting. Yet, he still put on a high-minded, moralistic air. "It's just that I met you a little later. This can't be blamed on me." "If it's not your fault, whose fault is it? My Mr. Wright's, perhaps?" I couldn't tolerate his arrogant and hypocritical attitude, immediately pointing a finger at his face and scolding. "So what if I give him more money?" I widened my eyes, gently cleared my throat. "Yes, give him a lot. My Mr. Wright loves me very much." In the afternoon of the same day, I, Mr. Wright's official wife, received a large sum of money transferred by Assistant Lee. He called me, his voice full of worry. "Ms. Claire, if you play around with the CEO like this, what if he remembers later? He might not be angry with you, but I'll be the one to suffer." "If he gets angry and fires you, then just collect all his recent scandals and sell them to a rival company. Problem solved." Assistant Lee immediately perked up. "That's a good idea." I added another layer of insurance for him. "And anyway, this is just a game Alex Chen and I are playing. It has nothing to do with an assistant like you." Reassuring Assistant Lee was truly a good thing. As soon as Alex Chen left the company, I received news. In the coffee shop, I quickly ordered another cup. Soon after, a familiar figure stealthily appeared in a hidden corner. It was hard to believe that this morning he had hesitated to ask me for the meeting address. I thought he wouldn't come. Fortunately, I had also invited the actor, Mr. Wright, who arrived just in time. Mr. Wright played his role very well, beating his chest and lamenting to the heavens, "Where is that vixen? How did she seduce you to the point of wanting a divorce from me?" The vixen sat right behind him, her face serious, awaiting an answer. "Because she's handsome and rich." Behind Mr. Wright, Alex Chen's face immediately broke into a bright smile. Seeing that smug look disgusted me. I immediately changed my tone, tugging at Mr. Wright's sleeve, adding another scene to our play. "Honey, I still have feelings for you. How about I use his affection to support you?" Mr. Wright quickly adapted, his eyes crinkling in a smile. All right, all right." I glanced over his shoulder and saw the walking iceberg behind him immediately turn red-eyed. I couldn't help but laugh either. My departure wasn't simply because I feared Alex Chen would force me to abort. Even if I insisted on having the child, he couldn't do anything to me. The main reason I left was that he didn't love me enough. I met Alex Chen at the wrong time. Back then, my father's business failed, he incurred a huge debt, and was then diagnosed with a critical illness, dying not long after. Pursued by creditors and with employees demanding unpaid wages, I had to sell all my assets from houses to jewelry, but still owed 8 million yuan. Ironically, my creditor, the one I owed 8 million yuan to, was Alex Chen. Jobs outside were incredibly hard to find. The common salary ranged from 5,000 to 6,000, and some odd jobs paid only 2,300. I was lucky to find a job somewhere in between, with a salary of 4,000. With such a meager income, it was hard enough to survive, let alone pay off debt. Desperate, I risked going to Alex Chen, hinting that I wanted a job. I would use my entire salary to pay off the debt, as long as he supported me with a monthly living allowance. I still clearly remember Alex Chen's cold gaze sweeping over me then, as if mocking me. He pointed to Assistant Lee and said, "He graduated with an excellent master's in finance from ZJ University in the US. He's currently my assistant, earning 2 million a year. If you have similar qualifications, I'm willing to give you a chance. So, Ms. Claire Min, what are your qualifications?" I, a graduate in digital art from a top 211 university, was utterly crushed. Alex Chen chuckled faintly, then turned and walked away. I thought all hope was lost. But that evening, Assistant Lee informed me to report to the conglomerate for work the next day. Alex Chen had given me a job as an assistant in the CEO's office. The monthly salary was 8 million, and 5 million would be deducted each month to pay off the debt. I quickly took out my calculator. This meant I would have to work for Alex Chen continuously for 16,000 months. Converted to years, that's 1,333.3 years, not much, only about 33 to 34 lifetimes. That night, I cried into my blanket, sobbing because the rest of my life was officially no longer my own. The next morning, I quickly went to Alex Chen's company to start my debt-paying work. Initially, my relationship with Alex Chen was purely boss and employee. I was cautious and reserved in my work. He, meanwhile, issued firm, clear, and serious commands. But in less than 3 months, because of 2 tainted cocktails, everything went off track. From that day on, he told Assistant Lei to arrange accommodation for me, and I obediently submitted my resignation. From then on, no matter how well Alex Chen treated me, I always harbored doubts about his true feelings for me. Because I loved Alex Chen, I felt even more insecure and anxious. The truth is, I liked delicate lace decorations, but not to the extent of wanting to turn the entire villa into a gaudy princess castle. What I loved was Alex Chen's frowning face, but then still indulging my wishes. It was that silent tolerance. He admitted he treated me well, and I believed he had feelings for me. But the power imbalance in our relationship was always a hard pill to swallow. Every time he said he didn't like children, I would panic and feel scared. I was afraid he would no longer love me. As soon as I lay down on the bed, he wrapped his arms tightly around my waist and burst into sobs. "Sob, you still care about that guy, don't you? I only came a step after him, how could you love someone else? Sob, you even use my love to support him. I don't care, you can support him, but you can't love him. The baby in your belly can only have me as its father." Hearing him sob more and more incoherently, I turned around in annoyance and gave him a resounding slap, signaling him to cry more quietly. He was annoyingly loud. Unexpectedly, this man grabbed my hand and kissed it repeatedly, still sniffling. "Wifey, so sweet." He stopped crying and started being perverted again. Feeling my fingertips wet, I thought, better to let him cry. I began my peaceful pregnancy days at the Thuan Canlone villa. When free, I watched handsome men in videos, sometimes teasing Alex Chen for fun. Day after day passed calmly and happily, until one day, inspired, I pulled out the pile of gifts Alex Chen had given me. Suddenly, I saw a small gift box. Inside was a diamond ring, a silver band, a sparkling diamond. The design was simple but perfectly to my taste. My hand trembled slightly as I slipped the ring onto my ring finger. It fit perfectly, as if made just for me. I held the ring up to the light, examining it carefully. I saw the tiny engraving on the band. CC Love is my initials. So this was an engagement ring. I ran downstairs, holding the ring box, to ask Aunt Zhang, who was cooking in the kitchen. Aunt Zhang, when did you put this box in my gift room? Aunt Zhang, watching the soup pot, turned to look. When you left, I saw it on the floor of the dressing room. I guessed it was from the CEO, so I just put it in the gift room. My throat constricted, my heart pounding erratically. I quickly called Assistant Lee. Before Alex Chen's accident, was he planning to propose to me? After he confirmed it, I was a mix of tears and laughter. Just a little bit more, and I would have been Alex Chen's wife. Hearing my choked voice, Assistant Lee was silent for a long time before speaking. The CEO knew you loved children, so besides working out, he also consulted doctors about fertility. Before his memory loss, all his future plans always included you. He continued, after he lost his memory, he asked me to have you leave Beijing. But I thought he was about to propose to you, so I took the liberty of modifying the plan, only having you leave the Thuan Canlone area. Please don't doubt the CEO's feelings. Even with memory loss and forgetting everything, he always loved you. Even when, in his eyes at that time, you were already a married woman. I hung up, dazed for a long time, my heart a mix of joy and sadness. Alex Chen had never complained that I was noisy or troublesome, but I lacked the courage to truly believe him. If love was a 100-step journey, I would forever be just one last step behind him. I messaged Alex Chen, asking him to come home a little earlier tonight. He misunderstood my intention. I waited until I fell asleep, and he still wasn't home. It wasn't until late at night that I was woken by his sobs. Sob, wifey, do you not want to use my love to support old Mr. Right anymore? Is that why you asked me to come home early to say goodbye? I don't want to break up. I can't live without you. The first time I saw you at the hospital, I felt so peaceful, so comfortable. I want to be with you forever. Sob, wifey, don't leave me. I reached out and touched his face, wet with tears, then gently comforted him. I'm not leaving, we'll be together forever. Alex Chen's crying suddenly stopped. He looked up, hastily wiping away his tears. In that moment, he regained his cold demeanor. No more old Mr. Right, though his voice was still choked. I nodded, gently replying, there's no old Mr. Right, there's only you. I embraced him, telling him everything that had happened between us in the past, even showing him our shared photos. Alex Chen stared at me, half believing, half doubting. Really? Really? If you don't believe me, ask Assistant Lee. Alex Chen nodded. Okay. That night, we slept in each other's arms. The next morning, I received a call from Assistant Lee. The CEO just asked me, was she the canary I once kept? I replied, yes, but I feel he doesn't quite believe it. The way he's looking at me is strange. What exactly did you tell him yesterday? I recounted exactly what I had said. What made Alex Chen not believe? Very soon after, I understood the complexity of his thoughts. Alex Chen had used a secret social media account to post. The title was, My Wife and Assistant Conspired to Trick Me. Should I expose the truth? The content of the post was as follows. First, I confess my fault. I fell in love with and married a pregnant woman who was already married. But that's not the main issue. The issue is that my wife changed her story. She said she was my former canary. I had an accident and lost part of my memory. My assistant said that during that time, I kept a canary. She also claimed the baby in her womb is mine and even used Photoshop to create many intimate photos, including heart-shaped poses I've never made. She also said if I didn't believe her, I should ask my assistant. This morning, I asked, and the assistant's answer was exactly the same as hers. I don't intend to make a big deal out of it. I just want to ask how to make my wife believe that I believe her. Because the post was too unbelievable, the comments section was flooded with criticism, and I was both angry and amused. The lingering feeling of uneasiness last night was definitely due to my own mind being messed up. Why be honest? Better to continue being his third party. That evening, Alex Chen returned home. As soon as he walked in, I pretended to be annoyed and said, "My Mr. Right always steps into the house with his left foot first, unlike some people who always step with their right foot first." He maintained a cold expression, looking at me without a word. I immediately scoffed. My Mr. Right smiles very cutely, not like some people who always look cold as money, so boring. Alex Chen tried to force a smile, but it was incredibly strained. I gave him another side-eye, continuing to mock. HMPH, Mr. Right's smile is drop-dead gorgeous, not like someone whose smile looks like they're crying. Click asterisk. The sound of the light switch cut off my nagging. Wildly, Alex Chen lunged and kissed me roughly. "Stop mentioning Wright, you're not allowed to talk about him, I hate him." I could only utter a few soft moans, completely unable to speak. This time, Alex Chen truly lost control. He no longer maintained his usual cold exterior. He cried and acted passionately. I wanted to cry with him to cry from sheer pleasure. HMPH, this is your price for not believing me. The very next day, I dragged Alex Chen to register our marriage. 5 months later, I gave birth to a healthy child. Another year passed, and our child began to speak. One day, I accidentally overheard Alex Chen muttering to our child, "Son, daughter, I am your biological father. Don't believe anyone who says otherwise, okay?" I was seething with rage and immediately gave him a sharp elbow. "Oh my God, when will you remember everything?" When our child was 3 years old one evening, I accidentally mentioned Mr. Wright, who is now a famous actor. Alex Chen flew into a rage. We argued all night until we finally fell silent. The next morning, when I woke up, he leaned his head against the headboard, staring intently at me. I groggily lifted my head and habitually kissed his cheek, grumbling, "And yet you kicked me out to live on my own. How heartless." Alex Chen quickly covered my mouth, stammering, "I know, don't mention it anymore." Normally, I would have to beg and plead for him to believe me, but today his expression was off. I immediately opened my eyes wide and looked at him, seeing his face flushed red, his lips pressed tightly together. A sudden realization dawned on me. You remembered, didn't you?" Alex Chen glared at me, a look of extreme impatience on his face. He really had. I jumped up and hugged his waist, smiling brightly. "May I ask a rather sudden question? Can I be the father of your child, my dear husband?" That phrase sounds so familiar, doesn't it? Alex Chen turned his face away, pouting so much he looked up at the sky, refusing to look at me. I followed his gaze, my eyes darting around him, a mischievous smile on my face. Who said that, I wonder? So hard to guess. Alex Chen was so angry he was about to turn into a pufferfish, while my laughter echoed like the cries of 80 cicadas at once. Ha ha ha, annoying Alex Chen. He angrily pounced, pinning me to the bed, biting me affectionately all over like a grumpy puppy. "Claire, you're not allowed to laugh anymore." At that moment, the sunlight outside the window was dazzling and brilliant. It was just like the loving affection Alex Chen gave me.